Hey everybody, this is Matthew Boyle from LanguageCardGames.com, where we believe if you can play cards, you can learn languages. And in today's video, I'm going to introduce to you my top language learning card games that I actively use with my friends to improve my language and linguistic abilities. First up is Language Guardians, and that would be the best game for more casual gamers and beginning language learners, although it also has some cards and challenges that I think would interest intermediate and even expert level gamers and language learners. It functions similarly to Uno, and it can be played, I would say, for maybe between 2 and 6 people could play, although if you added a second deck, you could definitely include more people. This game works for any target language, and it is printed right now in English and Italian and soon to be French. Next up is Fighting Flashcards, and this is a really fun way to make flashcard review more like a card battle. It is a little bit more challenging than Language Guardians. So if you're familiar with collectible and competitive card battling, and you also like to review flashcards, this will be perfect for you. You need your physical flashcards to play, and so does your opponent. This one also can be used for really any language or any subject that you would review with flashcards. And again, it's for multiple players, perhaps 2 to 6 would be best. Following that, we have Lightner Cards here. Tagline, think inside the box, because for those of you who know how to use the Lightner box, that is a box that keeps your flashcards in a special order according to the time that you need to review them. It's a very effective and efficient system to memorize flashcards with. And Lightner Cards basically gamifies that process even further. But this isn't really something that you would use for multiple players. It's really something that you would use solo. Although there are some challenge cards in there that might ask you to do something with friends. And as I've advocated in the past, you could do a Lightner Box Race with your friends. So in some ways, we could make that multiple player, but it's really just for one. And I'll put a link into this video if you're interested to watch our comprehensive video series about how to learn with flashcards and how to learn with the Lightner system, because it's great, not only for languages, but for really any subject that you need to memorize stuff for. Now let's shift down to the bottom row. On the bottom row are games that are quite harder than the ones on the top row. These games are really for people who are experienced gamers who have played things like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic or the Star Wars card game. There's a lot more complexity in here. And not only that, but there's a higher degree of difficulty in terms of the words and linguistics terms that you'll need to know to activate the cards and win the battle. But I don't want that to sound too intimidating. If you really like card games, or if you aspire to deepen and enrich the vocabulary and linguistics terminology that you know, then I would definitely suggest you get into this series, because as you progress through this series, you are going to learn so much. And in an attempt to build a better deck and beat your opponents, you're going to soak up a lot of language and linguistics skills. So Chinese Champions is here. That's a little more aimed at Mandarin Chinese because that's a language that I speak. So I've specifically made this card game series for that. And it has 2 sets in this series, Chinese Champions 1 and 2. And then over here is the Other Tongue series, of which there's currently 3 sets or 3 editions. Spellbound, which is fantasy themed, Word Factory Inc., which is like sci-fi themed, and Rise of the Steampunks, which is steampunk themed. But they're all belonging to the same series, and they do have slightly different backs, but they're all the Other Tongue game. And in the Other Tongue game, you can use any, it can be used for any target language that you want. So for example, I could battle, if I was learning Mandarin Chinese, I could battle what I know about Mandarin Chinese against someone who's learning Italian, Korean, or something else. It's for multiple players, probably, I'm thinking 2 to 6 again would be best. A very crowded table, it could get tough to play in a reasonable amount of time, but you could even play with more if you really wanted to. And it's, all of these games are very customizable. So if you find any cards to be too difficult, or if you don't want to use the whole deck, you can always break down these decks and customize them to make it a little more effective for your game, for your battle, for your learning. And we have playthrough videos for all of these games on YouTube, and we also ship for free to any location worldwide. So what are you waiting for? Head over to languagecardgames.com and visit the shop. And I'll see you back here next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you back here next time at Language Card Games. Bye-bye for now.